With the Ottoman Empire getting deeper into what used to be Kingdom of Croatia, now in union with Hungary and Austria, forming a Habsburg monarchy, the city of Sisak and its surroundings was quickly transformed from an economic center to main defensive position of the whole kingdom against the Ottoman Empire. Since in that area the Catholic Church was the biggest landowner, they were the main financier of defense. In the 16th century, a bunch of smaller forts were built in hopes to stop the Ottomans. It was clear that these forts needed to rely on each other for any effective defense, and also they would hardly be able to sustain a massive attack. So in 1544, the Catholic Church started a project of building a triangular fortress of Sisak. The fortress itself was built on the rivers of Kupa and Sava, providing better defense of the fortress. It was meant to be a part of a larger system of fortresses that provided a offensive line toward the Ottoman Empire. Architecturally wise, it was a combination of Renaissance, being triangular in shape, and Gothic, having tall domes on top style. At the time, at the Ottoman court, the Sultan was being lobbied by his Grand Vizier, Sinan Pasha, to finally conquer the lands of Croatia and Hungary, in efforts to prepare attack on Vienna in foreseeable future. The Sultan had a peace treaty with the Habsburg King Rudolf that was supposed to last for 8 years. However, winning a war against the Persians in 1590, the Sultan was up for a new challenge, hence Battle of Sisak. The job was given to Beglepeg of Bosnia, Teli Hasan Pasha, as the commander-in-chief of the military forces over there. In July 1591, nobility of Croatia started mobilization and fortification of fortress of Sisak. Hasan Pasha first wanted to test defensive capabilities of the fortress, so on 6th of August 1591, he entrenched his positions on the opposite side of the riverbank and started artillery fire. However, Ban, Croatian viceroyalty, Thomas Erdodi, repelled and forced Ottoman retreat in a counterattack. Hasan will return, however, in April the next year with a plan. He took a similar position as the last time, however with a much larger army and a plan to build a fort of his own. After finishing the fort, he took his army to the south to deal with another problem, taking the city of Bihać. With his rear secured, Hasan set his eyes on Sisak. Expecting the incoming attack, the troops from all around the kingdom started to gather near Sisak. But on 19th of July, after a surprise attack by the Ottoman troops, the Habsburg troops were forced to retreat. 3 days later, the second siege of Sisak started. This time, under the veil of night, a group of defenders sneaked out and destroyed well-positioned Ottoman artillery, forcing the Ottomans to retreat one more time. The third and final siege will not start until June 1593. In the meantime, attacking surrounding areas to demoralize the defenders. 14th of June, some 29 boats will bring a sizable artillery that Hasan will place on the opposite riverbank. He had some 12,000 soldiers. The fortress was being defended by 800 soldiers. Hearing about the movements of the Ottoman army, Thomas Erdodi rose his feudal army of some 1,200 men and issued a call for help from the other lands of the Habsburg monarchy. He was able to gather around 5,000 troops. The combined army was commanded by Rupert von Eggenberg from Inner Austria. On the 20th of July, they moved towards Sisak and reached the fortress 2 days later. Hearing about the difficult situation inside the fortress under siege, they decided to start a battle immediately to lift the siege. The Habsburg army was in 2 rows. First row was filled by light cavalry and infantry, and second row heavier cavalry. They were met by Ottoman army that put archers and infantry on the left flank, with cavalry in the middle and on the right. The right flank was commanded by Hasan Pasha himself. The Ottoman army outnumbered the Habsburg army 2-1. However, only a small portion of the Ottoman army was equipped with firearms. On the other side, at least half of the 5,000 men army was under arms. At 1 afternoon, first clash happened. First row, under the command of Thomas Erdodi, smashed into the lines of the Ottomans. However, the Ottomans were able to repel the enemy attack, with many infantry ending up in the river of Odra. Ottoman cavalry planned to encircle the Habsburg army. To stop this, the second line of the Habsburg army attacked through the middle of the enemy lines, cutting them in half. Each half was overwhelmed by firepower coming from the Habsburgs, soon causing a disarray among the ranks of the Ottomans. Seeing this, the defenders in the fortress of Sisak stormed out of the fortress and attacked the Ottomans from the rear, causing more chaos in the Hasan's army. His army tried to retreat over the bridge of Kupa, but the bridge was too narrow for full-on retreat, and it was soon captured by Habsburg's musketeers. The battle only lasted 1 hour. At the end of it, 8,000 Ottoman soldiers were laying dead, alongside their commander. The battle itself was a huge morale boost for the whole Europe, from Vatican to Spain. The victory had been celebrated. Alongside naval victory in 1571 by European forces, it was one of the early significant defeats of the up to then invincible Ottoman army on European territory.